straight into it, right?
So like I can't hold on. I think I'm on already. Dog on no sweat.
Hey, what's good, Zariah, man? What's up? Get your ass up. Oh man, you always do tripping. What's going on, man?
What's good, Red?
Hey, man, they was clowning you at work today, man. So? I mean, we watched the video a couple times, but we really couldn't tell if it was you.
Yo, how's your eye?
Oh, it's cool. God damn!
What's up, Mark? What's up, Mark? Yo, let me get one of them flyers, man. Man, I ain't giving you shit. You better get the hell out of here before Cat Pop come out here. Man, come on, man. Why you gotta be like that, man? I'm trying to come to class, man. Why you acting crazy?
Man, you need to go do that.
Man, I ain't giving him shit.
Man, what? Man, you ain't gonna give me shit. We need brothers to come to class.
Damn, man. Ite me yato me tararo tato. Man, you fucking racist, man. Give me this goddamn flyer, man. You acting crazy, home.
Man, fuck you.
Oh, shit. Tebow, nigga.
What? Who?
Tebow.
Oh, damn, I ain't been to class in a minute. Shit. Oh, shit.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Red? Thanks for the bike. What you got on my ties, homie?
I ain't got nothing. I thought you already collected the tires.
I did, but I want Red's 10%.
Stall him out.
What's up, Red? What you got on my ties, homie?
I ain't got nothing, man.
Oh, yeah. You got something.
I ain't got. Hey, man, that's messed up, man.
Shut your ass up or I knock your ass out.
Yo, Tebow, man, that's messed up, man. Give him his money back.
What money?
You right now. What money?
Hey, man, why ain't y'all help me?
Yeah, man, I paid my tithes.
Man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would have helped y'all. What about the time he took the tires from me in Zariah's backyard? Oh, that was different.
Man, let's jump him.
Man, sit your ass down, man.
Man, I got mind control over Tebow. When he here, I pay my tithes. But when he leave, I pay my tithes.
Man, damn, man. I should have just paid my tithes, man.
Man, that nigga gonna cry in the car.
He should have paid his tithes.
Shit, real shit.
This shit is endless. What I speak is the truth. I don't care if it's offensive. 12 rounds hit hard, and this shit gon' go the distance. Way to exit cool, but wait till you see the interest. Know that we them niggas when we walk inside the entrance. Put me as the GOAT, you should be honored to get a mention. All my clips is standard, but I still get extensions. Switch on the big 30, sound like when it's spitting. Album so high, I had to give them an extension. One West till they bury me. Yeah, that's the commitment. Don't trust the soul, niggas purring or they hit shit. What I speak is the
What's up,
truth.
y'all?
I don't care if it's offensive.
What's up, Red?
Life that I chose, no turning
Thanks for the
back
bike.
in this. They don't
What you got on my ties, homie?
God damn, man.
What I speak is the truth. I don't care if it's offensive.
God
Life
damn.
that I chose, no turning back. They don't understand when we tell them no forgiveness.
Tebow, nigga. Tebow.
Reincarnation. So you know this endless. I'm solidified and stamped. That's why I walk with a signet.
I wanna do-
Salaya, what was good? Be like, man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would've helped y'all.
All right, word. Man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would've helped y'all.
Blameless. And if you ain't the same, I'm against it. Was born with this shit. The other half, I'm just gifted. 20 on me. Wish a nigga would so I could spend it. Start from the branch, then I ain't at the soil.
I think we got a problem. Got a problem.
Let's go. Yeah. That's right. It is the ISUPK. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of Harlem, New York, since 1969 under commanding General Yohana. And we're here to teach the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American people that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right.
That's right.
We are under Commanding General Yohana since 1969. It is the ISUPK. All right. Like, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the Philly School, Commanding General Yohana, General Mahaiman. Great, glorious feast of dedication. We came down to Philly. It was a glorious time. It was a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters, Hispanics and Native Americans coming together. Right. All right. No issues, no problems. And this is how it should be. All right. It's a lot of times, a lot of our people don't understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people are getting together on our feast days. We have our own feast days where we don't have to celebrate the feast days of the oppressor. You understand? Christians kill me when they talk about how they're going to be in the world, but not of the world. Right? But yet they'll celebrate Christmas. And we're going to talk about that. Things that Christians have to say about Christmas. Now, you can put it, if you want, you guys can put it in the chat. If y'all want to add anything that Christians say about Christmas, but we're going to explore a couple of those things, all right? But getting back to coming together for the feast days, listen, it's very important that you get in class and you come out for these feast days. There's no reason why brothers can't make time to get in class. You can make time for anything else. You can make time for a weed session. If you can make a time for anything besides these scriptures and getting in class, your faith is dead. You say you believe. You say that you follow the scriptures. You say that you're an Israelite. Well, get in class.
Right.
You have to get in class. You got that precept out? You got to get in class. The scriptures are clear on this. Read.
Book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1.
Read.
A song of decrees of David.
This is David. This is King David, a man after the Most High's own heart. Read.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
In what?
In unity.
This is what we do when we come out to these feast days. When we come out to these feast days, we do exactly that. And how good and how great and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together, not just dwell together, but dwell together in unity.
Right.
In unity. Everybody knows their position. You don't have no woman or no man trying to be loud, trying to fight or any of that. Nothing like that goes on. I've never been to any of our days and it has turned into such a thing. And if you're not coming to the feast day, shame on you.
Right.
All right. And your faith is dead and you just talk. It's not real. All right. Now, things that Christians say about Christmas. What is the things that Christians say about Christmas? Yo, get me Isaiah 64. This is the 64 and 4 and 6. You can start at verse 5. Look. No, just go right to it. 64 and 6. This is right to this is going out to my Christians, right? Before we get into the things that they actually say, this is what this is what I need you to take with you. You got it out? Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 6.
Read.
But we are all as an unclean thing.
Come on.
And all our righteousness.
All our what?
All our righteousness.
You know what our righteousness is? Our righteousness is leaning to our own understanding. That's our righteousness. When you lean to your own understanding, that's your own righteousness. When you start to take any holiday of America, any day of America, I don't care what day it is, and you start to add your righteousness, that's an unclean thing. That's an unclean thing. Read it from the top again.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing.
Read.
And all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags.
Notice what it says. All of our righteousnesses. That means all of it.
Right.
Anything you come up with is what?
Are as filthy rags.
It's filthy. It's dirty. It's unclean. You can't make a bad tree bear good seeds. You can't do it. The scriptures is clear. You can't make a bad tree bear good fruits. You can't take, let me give you an example. You can't take Catholicism and now, because Catholicism broke up and you started the Protestant movement. And out of the Protestant movement comes your denomination, which is a non-denomination. Let's say yours is a non-denomination or Baptist or Pentecostal or anything. It is unclean because it's coming from a bad tree. And that bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Pull that back up. It can't. So the Christian church that you go to is unclean. It's not righteous. It's filthy. It's dirty. Read it again.
God. Isaiah chapter 64, verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags.
I mean, that is so heavy. All of your righteousnesses. That means everything. See, when you get to start talking about your relationship with the Most High is personal, let me tell y'all something right now. Be careful of someone that says their relationship with the Most High is personal. Personal, that's your own righteousness. That's that filthy rag. Read.
And we all do fade as a leaf.
Come on.
And our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away.
Taking you far away. This is why now you're so far away from the laws, statutes, and the commandments. It's so dark. You can't see. This is the reason why Yahushua comes. Yahushua comes and he does what? He brings that light. He brings that light. And when he brings that light, now you can see. And what you can see the very thing that causes the destruction. The very thing that causes our destruction. Salaki. That's not on.
I don't think so.
There's Salaki. There you go. So now, this is what a Christian would say. A Christian would say, we celebrate. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate Christmas. What is some of the things? What do they say? What do you got on that? Like the thing that I always hear is this. We don't worship the tree. We don't worship the tree. I know y'all heard that before.
Right. Time. Yeah, they don't worship the tree. They're not worshiping themselves when they celebrate their birthday and so forth and so on with. It's just out of ignorance. They just don't know that that's what they're doing. They have to be taught. That's why Christ told us we have to become babes and desire that sincere milk, as Peter said.
Right. Now let's lay it all out. Now, the word Christmas is not in the Bible, but the idea of Christmas is in the Bible. And the idea of Christmas, where did it come from? Why shouldn't we follow it? It went out again? Hand me that. Oh, you want to go ahead and take that?
Yeah,
All right, no sweat. All right. Why shouldn't we, and why can't we make it good? Why can't we celebrate it if we're not worshiping the tree? I want y'all to hold that because that's what Christians say. Well, I don't worship the tree. That's what I want to attack. I don't worship the tree. So let's see what the scriptures have to say about this matter. All right. Now I want y'all to follow me now. Right. I want you to follow me. First place we're going to go to is the book of Judges, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Mic check.
I can hear you. You too loud. Chapter 3 and verse 1. All right. Now, this is the reason why we cannot and should not in no kind of way try to take this pagan holiday and make it righteous, because our righteousness is as what? Is as filthy rags. All right. All right, read.
Book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel.
To do what?
To prove Israel.
To prove Israel. All right. To prove us. That means to test us.
Right.
So he says, now these are the nations which Yahweh left to test Israel. Read.
Even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan.
Of who?
Of Canaan.
Now Canaan would be a Hamite. They would be considered today as one we would call today on this side of the earth. We would call them Africans. All right. So it says, not known all the wars of Canaan. Read.
Verse 2. Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof.
Read. Now these are the nations. Read.
Salaki, if I may, I cannot go by that point about teaching, about to teach them war. Like General Hyman always say, life is war. This life is a war. For every day you get up, you're gonna have to fight. And this is what this scripture is saying. It says only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, because every day you got to fight, not to succumb, not to envy your oppressor, and to be like your oppressor, and to do the things that your oppressor doing because you see it, because they drill it in you here in America so much through the televisions, through the social media, and all the different mass publication outlets that they use.
Right, right, and they do. Remember, the male, the masculine male, he's attacked. The so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American male, he's the main one attacked. He's the main one attacked. And look, he's the leader. And he has to understand, and all of us have to understand why these nations are here. A lot of people ask, why? Well, if the Lord, if y'all saying that God only loves Israel, why are the other nations here? Why did he create the other nations? It's very simple. Read verse 1 again.
Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them.
All right. So that's to test Israel. Now go down to verse 3. Let's see these nations.
Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines,
which will be so-called Hamites. These are all Cush. These are all what you would call Africans. Read.
And all the Canaanites.
Read.
And the Sidonians.
Read.
And the Hivites.
Come on.
That dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hamon unto the entering in of Hamath.
All right. So these are all Hamite nations. This is Cush. All right. This is Cush. This would be Hamites. And the Most High said that he left these nations around to do what? To test us, to prove us. Read.
Okay. Verse 4. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses.
So he's saying those nations was left to test Israel. They were left to test Israel whether you will follow after the Most High's laws, statutes, and the commandments, which the church teach today that you don't have to follow God's law because we're no longer under God's law. So you good, right? So now you can do as the other nations. It kills me. Listen, even in marriage, anything that they have come up with, that it may seem loving and it may seem so warm, like Valentine's Day and all that crazy stuff to women. All of that stuff is filthy. That all of those things come from another nation. But here, the Most High is being very specific right here. He's talking about Cush. He's talking about Ham. He's talking about the Hamites, right? That's exactly who he's talking about. And he's saying they were left there to prove us. Now, I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 10. I'm going to show you one of those nations. Remember, we targeting Christmas, right? We're targeting Christmas. I want you to go to Genesis chapter 10. You can start at verse 1. Salakia. Go to Genesis 9 and 20. 21.
Book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 21.
Read.
And he drank of the wine and was drunken.
So who is he talking about? He's talking about Noah. Start at verse 19, Salakia, so they can know exactly who we're talking about.
These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
The whole earth was overspread, right? So these are Noah's three sons. Salakia, real quick. Can you go to First Ezra? Is that First Ezra chapter 6? Is that it? Or Second Ezra chapter 6? Salakia. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. So remember, in Genesis chapter 10 and verse 19, it says, and these are the three sons of Noah, and of them were the whole earth overspread. So everybody came from Noah's three sons. But it's something that we have to really get clear dealing with Noah's three sons. You got it?
Look at Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 54.
Read.
And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
So everyone came from Noah. Why? Because Salakia, because Noah is a descendant of Adam. He's a descendant of Seth. He's a descendant of Enoch. He's a descendant of Methuselah. So he's a descendant of Adam. Noah is, right? Read.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Also the people whom the Lord has also chosen. Why? Because we were called the sons of God. So those were the ones that was chosen. We wasn't called the daughters of men. We were called the sons of God. So those are the ones that was chosen. Read.
Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake.
Read.
As for the other people.
As for the other people. So the other people would be the other nations outside of Adam, all right? Remember that. Read.
Which also come of Adam.
So look, Ham, Shem, and Japheth came from Adam. All right, stay with me. Read.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
They are what?
They are nothing.
So now we have a group of people a nation of people that the Most High chose. All right. And you have another nation whom the Most High says they are what?
They are nothing.
They are nothing anymore.
But be like unto spirit.
Read.
As liketh the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So you have two different groups. So now I'm going to show you those two different groups through the three sons. Go back to Genesis 9 and 19 and read that again. Now remember, you got a nation of people that the Most High chose, and then you got the other people, and the other people are nothing. All right, read.
These are the book of Genesis chapter 9, verse 19. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
All right, so now we about to break down. We just going to get right into it. We're going to break down who the ones he chose And who the other people which are nothing? They are as spittle. They are like a drop that falls into a vessel. All right. Go down to verse 25. We're going to get right to it. Noah actually is about to curse his son, one of his sons, right? And he's about to lay out who the Most High chose. He's about to show you who the people the Most High chose, and then the other people which are nothing. Watch, read.
Book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 25.
Read.
And he said, cursed be Canaan.
Cursed be who?
Canaan.
Now remember, Canaan is all those nations that we just read about in Judges chapter 3. The ones that the Most High chose to stay, to test us, to prove us. Those were Canaanites. So he said, what? Cursed be Canaan. Read.
A servant of servants shall he be.
Notice it doesn't say anything about the Most High God. It doesn't say he's the God of Canaan, or Canaan followed the Lord, or anything like that. It's no affiliation. Only thing you have dealing with Cain is this: Ham. Same Ham, Cain. Read it again.
And he said, verse 25, and he said, cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
Come on.
Verse 26. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem.
Of who?
The Lord God of Shem.
See the language, how the language is different when he's dealing with Shem. He doesn't say that about Canaan. He doesn't say anything in that nature about Canaan. He said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem. Read.
And Canaan shall be his servant.
Canaan shall be his servant. Read.
Verse 27. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
So notice, he mentioned all three of the sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. But it's only one that he said, Lord God of Shem. And by him saying it, he's saying, blessed be Yahweh, thy power of Shem. That's what he's saying. So the Shemites, out of them are those that was chosen. Out of them came Abraham. Out of them came Isaac. But for the other ones, they are nothing. They are as spittle. Those are the ones that was left behind. Now, out of one of those nations, Genesis 10, we're going to go down to 10 and 6.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 6.
Read.
And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
Come on.
And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ra'amah, and Sabtaka, and the sons of Ra'amah, Sheba, and Dedan.
Now, these are Hamite nations. And these nations are multiplying, right? These are the nations to the Most High. They are nothing. They are as spittle. They are like a drop that falleth into a vessel, right? Read.
Verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod.
Begot who?
Nimrod.
Come on.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
This is the one that we want to target. Nimrod, right? Read.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Verse 10, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Was who?
Babel.
This is the Tower of Babel, right? Nimrod ran that. Read.
And Erech and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar.
All right. So why did we target Nimrod? All right. We targeted Nimrod is because this is the earliest history that we have on the birth of dealing with this pagan religion. Now, real quick, Nimrod was killed. And apparently his mother got impregnated with him and gave birth to him again. All right. But this was done through a ritual. And right here we have a book, right? It's called The Two Babylons. The Two Babylons, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to start. I want you to, right here, right there, where it says now, the U-Law. I want to go there. All right. Now, this is the earliest history that we have of it. All right. Of this tree dealing with the Hamites. You see it?
You said the U-Law?
Con. It's right underneath that December 25th. All right. And it's dealing with Nimrod. All right. This is some history on Nimrod, on the one that it was told that he was left to prove us and how we shouldn't follow after them. And if we follow after them, we're going to fall. We're going to be thrown out of our nation, out of our kingdom, out of our land. All right. And we're going to be destroyed. We're going to take a look at that. But remember, this is a nation that was left to prove us. Read.
It's the book, The Two Babylons, or the Papal Worship proved to be the worship of Nimrod and his wife by Alexander Hislop, page 98. It reads, therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth.
Salakia, go down to where it starts with the Eula law.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Now, the Yule log is the dead stock of Nimrod.
All right, so that law represents the dead stock of Nimrod. Go ahead.
Deified as the sun god.
As the what?
Deified as the sun god.
Come on.
But cut down by his enemies.
So he was the sun god and he was cut down by his enemies, right? Go ahead.
The Christmas tree is Nimrod redivivus. The slain God come to life again.
So the Christmas tree.
That's Latin. I guess that's revived.
It's revived. The Christmas tree represent what?
Is Nimrod reborn, revived. It says redivivus.
Go ahead.
The slain God come to light again.
Come on.
And you just, in the light reflected by the above statement on customs that still linger among us,
Come on.
the origin of which has been lost in the midst of or antiquity, let the reader look at the singular practice still kept up in the South on Christmas Eve of kissing under the mistletoe bough.
All of that stuff has pagan roots. So Nimrod, the Christmas tree and all of that is tied into Nimrod, right? It's all tied into Nimrod. And Rome actually picked up these customs just as well. All right, now you can read the one on Rome. This is how it traces back to December 25th. Go ahead.
Page 98 again.
Go ahead.
Therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth, was held at the Natalis Invictus Solis, the birthday of the unconquered sun.
Now, these pagan rituals go back. I wanted to show you Nimrod and I wanted to show you Rome. Now, one thing we was told, right? We was told if we didn't follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and the commandments, we will be scattered among the nations, right? Go to Leviticus. Leviticus 26. And you can start at verse 1. Now, the Christmas tree is an idol. That's what it is. Now, I know Christians say, we don't celebrate the tree. We don't worship the tree. Why you bring a tree in the house? You ever ask yourself that? You ever sat down and say, no, why do we bring a tree in the damn house? We go get a tree from outside, cut it down and bring it in the house. All right? So remember, those nations was left to prove us. And because those nations was left to prove us, this is what we supposed to do. Read.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 1.
Come on.
Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image.
Come on.
Neither rear you up a standing image.
Come on.
Neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God.
Come on.
Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season.
So he gave you a lot of blessings. But then when you get down to verse 14, he says,
but if ye will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments,
come on,
but that ye break my covenant,
read.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Read it again.
Verse 16, I also will do this unto you.
Stop. Go over to verse 33. So if we do not follow his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, he's going to do this. Read.
Verse 33, and I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste.
All right, so the Most High is telling us, listen, when we get into this land, and if you do not follow his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, guess what? These things are going to pursue you and destroy you. Give me that. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 60. Deuteronomy 28 and 40. Spot here. 45. And then after you pull this one, I want you to pull up that article. Now, remember, why do we have all these other nations? These other nations are just here to prove us. Remember, the earth was made for our sake. So everything around us is to test us. You got it?
Come on.
Read.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 45.
This is what's going to happen if we do not follow his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. Read.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Come on.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed forever. Now, by us following the other nations, these things will destroy us. And we're going to give you an example of the destruction of our people today. It's something that's being overlooked because it's not on mainstream media. You're not going to turn on the TV and see this. You're not going to be able to go to the radio and hear this. This is something that has to be told to you by the prophets. And the prophets of the Lord can only be found right here in the School of Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Damn right.
Right now, our people are heavily under attack. Why? Because we're following after other nations. We want to be like the other nations. We want to do as the other nations. What kill me is Christians say all the time, in the world, but not of the world. But yet you take everything and you try to make it righteous. Your righteousness is as filthy rags. You got it?
Okay.
Listen to what's going on right now on the earth, right now. I want y'all to look at this article and understand this is happening to our people. This is happening to our people. Our people are being broken down. Our black men are being castrated because right now the mothers are being taught by the other nations, and the mothers is teaching the children by the other nations. The brothers, which is the fathers, they are being taught and being led by the other nations, and they are being destroyed by the other nations. It's like the whole family nucleus is being torn down. But check this out. Come on out.
Come. This is University of Houston article. It's online. It says suicide rates have increased dramatically. Dramatically. Suicide rates has rose dramatically. Go ahead. Among African Americans.
You know why? We're not made to be in a society where we being castrated. We're not made to be in a society where we can't be men. The scripture says the Lord is a man of war.
Damn right.
All right? That's how we supposed to be raised. But we being stripped of that. Even the men being stripped of that. In your home, you're being castrated. And then that woman expects for you to go out into the world and conquer the world. She expects for you to go out into the world and do well in the world and bring home the bread. Bring home that bread, right? But guess what? While you out there and you try to make these decisions, it's hard for you to make these decisions because you've been castrated at home. And now you go out in the world and guess what? That castration is affecting your decisions. And now you can't bring that bread home. You can't you can't pay those bills. We are being castrated. We are heavily under attack. And as it says, suicide rates have increased dramatically among African Americans. Go ahead, Up.
Come. Quote unquote, getting help seen as weakness by Lori Fickman.
And you know where you get help at? You don't go to the world to get help. You don't do that. You come right here into the school of Isupk under Commanding General Yohana.
Right.
And we'll teach you how to be a man. You understand? Let me tell you something. This is the reason why we're hated so much. It's because masculinity, being a man, is where you need to be. You don't need to be a statistic and be one that is being a part of the increasing suicide rate among African Americans. Go ahead, Al.
This article was written February 2nd, 2022. The news is horrifying. A list that seems to keep growing of high-profile African Americans believed to have died by suicide in the last few weeks.
In the last few weeks, go ahead.
Mayor of Hyattsville, Maryland, Kevin Ward, 44. Former Miss USA and attorney, Chelsea Christ.
This is a damn
30.
attorney. Go ahead.
Walking Dead star, Moses Mosley, 31. And Eon Alexander Jr., 26, son of Regina King. The grim trend brings up research conducted by Rita Walker, professor of psychology and director of the University of Houston's Culture, Risk, and Resilience Lab. As author of the Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health, Walker is one of the leading researchers in the U.S. specializing in the intersection of culture, race, mental health, and suicide. Quote, anything that is perceived as mental health related is taboo in the Black community.
And that is true. We are, listen, we just read the scriptures. It says, moreover, all these curses shall pursue you, right?
Right.
And shall overcome thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Right.
Because thou hast not hearkened unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. That's the reason why. Go ahead, Up.
Damn right. To further complicate things, quote unquote, getting help is seen as a weakness. So folks press on even when they are struggling. Doing so is part of a cultural legacy of survival in the face of brutal circumstances.
That's like that boy that General Muhammad was talking about. What's his name? The dancing boy?
The Twitch.
Yeah, he was
Twitch,
with the dancing gay lady.
Something Twitch.
Like, you would never know that this boy was getting ready to go down the street, get a hotel room, and kill himself.
Right.
Go Go ahead.
Like, if I may, his grandfather said that he was in contact with him, and he didn't seem. He seemed like he was fine. He said he don't think that he said he don't think that he killed himself. That's what the grandfather is saying. He don't think he killed himself. But who knows?
Who knows? We don't know.
Because
that's what happened when you're dealing with Esau and them.
You're dealing with Esau, common sir. It's like if I made like the pressure, like this article is bringing out the cultural legacy of survival in the face of brutal circumstances. Like the brutal circumstances is the life of an everyday black man.
Damn right.
That's the brutal circumstances just by being a black man in America.
And you know what would change that so much? Brotherhood.
Damn right.
Brotherhood would change that dramatically. Just as it says dramatically, it has increased. Just dramatically, it will decrease with brotherhood.
Right. Damn right it will.
Brotherhood is something that is the brotherhood in the ISUPK, second to none on the planet. We're following the command of our king that we should love one another. All right? That's what we need to be doing. Come on, you got some more on that?
Tom, sir. Prior to the pandemic, suicide deaths were increasing dramatically for black adults in the U.S. The rates have continued to increase during the pandemic.
So it's before the pandemic and during the pandemic. Am I saying that right? Pandemic. Salakia. Go ahead.
Over the last decade, suicide rates in the United States have increased dramatically among racial and ethnic minorities and black Americans in particular. Suicide deaths occur across the lifespan and have increased for black youth, but the highest rate of death is among black Americans aged 25 to 34 years of age, said Walker, who believes one way to stem the trend is to continue bringing these conversations into the public arena.
Like, we have to understand and know this, especially those that are not in this school that cannot use a discernment to see and understand that someone needs help.
Right. Come.
That's one thing in the school, you can always get counsel. We have generals, we have captains, we have officers, we have men that have been through things in life that can show us and teach us. And guess what? And we could be successful when we're tested by these nations. Remember, these nations are why the nations are around? To prove us. To prove us. Now, I showed you in the scriptures how Cush, Ham is cursed. And Nimrod came from that. He came from that lineage. He's a Hamite. He would be what we call today an African, right?
Right.
He would be one of those nations left to prove us. This Nimrod comes from the Iraq region, like Babylon, the same region where we went into captivity. So that ritual that we read about in the two Babylons, when we read that, now we're going to take you to that land, because guess what? We went into captivity in that land. We went into captivity in Babylon, and that's in the book of Daniel. Let's get it. Salakia, just go to Jeremiah 10. In the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah also prophesied about us going to captivity in Babylon. All right. So remember, when we going into Babylon, we're going to be among the heathens. We're going to be among the other nations. Right. And so when we among the other nations is there to do what? To prove us. To prove us. All right. To prove us. That's what they're there for. So now imagine this. I want you to take this with you. So boom, 586 BC, we go into captivity in Babylon. Babylon, which is the Hamites, which is Cush, where Nimrod comes from, they have a ritual that they do. They have a custom that they do. And that custom that they do, it deals with Nimrod, and it deals with a tree. All right. Is the name of it is not Christmas, but all of the attributes of Christmas is there. All right. Watch this. Read.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1.
Come on.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Oh, you, the children of Israel. The children of Israel is the 12 tribes of Israel, which is the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans on this side of the earth. Read.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the ways of the heathen. Remember, we were put among them because of disobedience, because we were learning the ways of the heathen. Now he's going to put us right in the midst of the heathens. And he says, learn not the ways of the heathens. Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. The signs of heaven would be what? The stars, the moon, the lights. All right, go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Oh, they love them. They dismayed at them. We don't get into astrology. Don't get into astrology. All right. Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Don't go up there and start looking at and saying, okay, well, I'm a Leo and I need to be with a Libra. Or I'm a Virgo. I need to be with a Aquarium. I don't know. Is that one of them? Aquarium? I don't know. I don't know none of them. But don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. All right. Because the heathens are dismayed at them. Read.
The meaning, Isupk, if I may, sir, I was just looking up dismayed in the blue letters on the screen. It says to be shattered, be dismayed, be broken, be abolished, be afraid is what dismayed means.
So they had a form of a reverence to them.
Right.
They had a reverence to these stars. They was dismayed at them. Like I said, astrology, all of that.
Verse 3.
Come on.
For the customs of the heathen of the Isupk. Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
They are empty. They're nothing. These customs are vain. So it's not saying anything about worship. It's saying, listen, don't do this. Don't learn these ways of the heathens, right? It says the customs, meaning the traditions, meaning the ordinances of these people are vain. They are nothing. Go ahead.
It's like their ways, yeah. Verse, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Now, this is what they used to do. Now you can go buy it in a box. You can buy an artificial one. Right? But before you could buy the artificial one, you actually had to go out and get the Christmas tree. I remember when I was young, we used to go out. My dad used to get us and we used to ride out. We used to try to find the biggest tree. We used to get a tree that can't even fit in their damn house.
Right.
I used to think that was what was up. And then it caught on fire. That's when I started saying to myself, why are we bringing a tree in the crib anyway?
Right.
That just sounds crazy when you really think about it. Like, why are we bringing a tree in the house? Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, and you can watch like these old movies and whatnot, where it shows you them chopping the tree down and all the old movies, old Christian movies. They're gonna show it's a big deal,
right?
It's a family getaway vacation. It's the high time of the year. Let's go find a tree. Like they all get all like the Christmas spirit. They're in the Christmas spirit,
right? That's the Christmas spirit. Damn right.
Spirit is very, very destructive.
Yeah, you know what the Christmas spirit is? Salakia. The Christmas spirit is lock your doors, lock your windows. Lock it, because cats is going. Look, they break it in. Crime is up. Stealing is up. Why? Because our people are pressured to be like other nations, so to the point that they're willing to risk themselves of going to jail, stealing, doing anything they can, anything. And a lot of brothers are committing suicide. Why? Because they can't get a tree. They can't buy their son an Xbox. They can't buy their son a PlayStation. They can't buy games. They can't buy Gucci, They can't buy all of these things, these material things that we're chasing because we want to do what? We want to be like the other nations. Remember, those nations was left there to prove us. So once again, here we are going into Babylon. We going to where Nimrod is from. And the Most High is telling us, for verse 3, read it again.
Oh God. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 3.
Read.
For the customs of the people are vain.
These are vain customs. Go ahead.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Come on.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Come on.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with silver and with gold. The reason why they deck it with silver and gold, they didn't have electricity back then. They couldn't plug it up. How they gonna get the shine? How they gonna get the signs and the customs from heaven? Go ahead.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
See, what they used to do was back in the day we used to have to get a Christmas tree stand for your tree, and you put it in and you screw it in and you put some water in so it'll be standing straight up. Right? Go ahead.
God.
And notice what it says in verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. Ain't that the language that they use? Same language. Deck I didn't y'all know the song.
Right.
Deck it with
right.
Whatever. Y'all know it. Look. Y'all know how the song goes. Right? Go ahead.
And then they got, our people, Salaki said, if I may bring up this one point, our people like to make this stuff famous too. You know what I mean? Our entertainers like to get out there and sing and shuck and jive. And Kirk Franklin made this song, Silver and Gold. And this is the same things that they're saying that was spoken of in verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Right.
It says, and that's the same song he made in during this time of year for this time of year for a so-called Christmas song.
That's right. Like, how can you get around this?
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how can Christians get around. Oh, no. I don't worship it. The Most High ain't saying nothing about worship. He says, listen, learn not their ways.
Don't do it. Right.
Just don't do it. Don't bring a tree in the crib, huh?
Right. That's it.
Look, trees, it's outside. Leave that out the crib. You don't bring it in, then you deck it with the signs of heaven, because that's what we do right now. We put lights on it. Those lights look like what? The stars as you look in the sky. And then you try to get a nice star to go on top. Like the scriptures is saying, don't do it. You can't make this righteous.
Right.
Because our righteousness as what? Our righteousness is as filthy rags. And there's no way you can get around it. There's no way you can make this good. It's no way. Go to the book of, you got anything else you want to add on that?
I think verse 5 goes with it.
Go ahead.
They are upright as the palm tree.
This is what they used to use. They used to use the palm tree. Go ahead.
But speak not.
The reason why speak not is because of the legend and the customs of Nimrod. Go ahead.
They must needs be born because they cannot go.
They needs to be born. Remember, the tree represent the birth and the reviving of Nimrod. So the Most High is letting you know exactly that. Look, no, don't do it. It needs to be born. Go ahead.
Be not afraid of them.
Don't be scared of it. Don't be dismayed at it. Go ahead.
For they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
All right. So you can't do it. It's no way. It's no way to make this right. It's no way to make this good. And this is why. Go to 1 Corinthians. Now we're gonna get into the New Testament, and I'm going to show the Christians you can't do it. There's no way you can do it. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. You know what I want. You can start at verse 10.
Come on.
Let's get
It's the
it.
book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 10.
Salakia, start at verse 1. Let's get into this here. This is how we got to deal with the Christians dealing with this matter. All right. This is exactly how you got to deal with a Christian dealing with this matter right here. This Christmas thing, because they always want to say how they can make it right by not doing the things that Esau is doing. But you're doing the same thing as Esau is doing. You're doing the same thing as the Canaanites is doing. Canaanites is doing. You're doing the same thing from Nimrod. You're doing the same thing. You can't change it. You can't change a foundation. You just can't do it. Go ahead.
Come. Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1.
Come on.
And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal.
So now we got to deal with you as carnal. Read.
Even as unto babes in Christ.
As babes in the most high power. Go ahead.
I have fed you with milk.
Come on.
And not with meat.
Read.
For hitherto ye were not able to bear it.
Come on.
Neither yet now are ye able.
Come on.
For ye are yet carnal.
You are what?
Ye are yet carnal.
You are carnal. Read.
For whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are ye not carnal and walk as men?
This is carnal. When you're dealing with, and I'm going to take this and we're going to apply this to Christmas, because Christmas comes from another man. It comes from outside of Israel.
Right.
All right. And that is a carnal thing. And these carnal things bring these things. It brings envy. It brings strife. It brings division. It brings suicide. It brings all of these things that is actually destroying us when we deal with things outside of the kingdom of the most high power. Right.
Right.
Go now. I want you to shoot down.
If I may, just to add on to that point about the envying, in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways. Envy not your oppressor. None of his ways. I mean, that's a heavy scripture right there, because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a carnal-minded people,
right.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. My people are very carnal-minded. Very carnal-minded, because you believe that your righteousness is as filthy. I mean, you believe your righteousness is righteous.
Right.
But the scriptures is saying, no, your righteousness is as filthy rags. Go down to verse 10.
Verse 10. According to the grace of God, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation.
So Paul is saying, according to the grace of the most high power that was given to him by Yahweh Shah, right? As a wise master builder, he says, I have laid the foundation. What is the foundation? Yahweh Shah Mashiach, right? What's the foundation of Christmas? Nimrod. Two different foundations. But Paul is saying, I have laid the foundation. Read.
And another buildeth thereon.
Come on. So another build thereon on the foundation that Paul laid. Read.
But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon.
So take heed how you build upon that. We just read about us going into Babylon. We just read about us being among the other nations. We just read how the other nations are put in place to prove us. Right? So those other nations are put in place to prove us. They have a foundation. The heathens have a custom, and their customs are vain. One cutteth a tree out of the forest. That is the foundation of Nimrod. Paul is saying he laid the foundation as a wise master builder. Right? Verse 11.
Verse 11. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid.
So Nimrod can't be laid. Christmas can't be laid. Easter can't be laid. Those foundations cannot be laid. You can't take a foundation and put it on another foundation. You can't do it. Read.
Which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Which is who?
Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Come on.
Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest.
Your work will be made manifested. It will be. But let me tell you something right now. If you running around talking about you trying to make Christmas righteous, let me tell you something. You headed for a judgment, and it ain't a good one. It ain't a good one. You can't build a foundation on a foundation that's already laid. You can't change it. You can't come and say, you know what? I'm going to take this bad tree and we're going to make it good. You can't do it. Verse 18.
Verse 18.
Read.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool.
See, I'm a fool among the nations because guess what? We don't deal with Christmas. We don't deal with none of that mess. We deal with the foundation that was laid by Paul as a wise master builder, which is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Go ahead.
That he may be wise.
Come on.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Verse 20.
Go, Salakia, go over to 1 Corinthians 2 and 6.
Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6.
Come on.
I'm waiting on my computer.
Understand, we have to separate ourselves from Christmas, Easter. The scripture says, be in the world, but not of the world. What does that mean? That doesn't mean be in the world and then you try to mold and shape how you see it fit by your own righteousness. One of the biggest tools and one of the biggest ways we fall is saying that my relationship with the Most High is personal. That makes you a respective person. When the Most High says he doesn't have respective person among Israel, he has respect unto Israel, but he doesn't have respective person among Israel. So by you saying your relationship is personal, now you can mold Christmas as being righteous. You can mold Easter as being righteous. You can mold going to birthday parties as being righteous. Why? Because your relationship is personal. But this is what we speak. Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6.
Come on.
Howbeit, we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught, but we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory.
That's what we speak. We speak when we talk in that which is righteous. We're talking wisdom, not wisdom of this world. Christmas is of this world. Christmas is something that has absolutely nothing to do with Yahweh Shah. Nowhere does Yahweh Shah tell us to celebrate his birthday. That's nonsense. You're thinking carnal. You're laying a foundation that is not the foundation of Yahweh Shah. You're bringing another foundation and you're laying that foundation up on it. That's carnal. That's what that is. You're living carnal and you're thinking carnal. Everything you're doing is carnal. Christmas is a pagan holiday. It's idolatry. And we clearly has been told that we cannot be having idolatry. We can't in no way, shape, and form. So a Christian would say, well, once again, I bring a tree into the house, but we don't worship it. If you bring a tree in your house every year, that turns into a custom. That turns into a ritual. And he made it clear, the customs of the people are vain. All right. Any questions online? You got anything you want to add up? I told you I wasn't going to be long tonight. No questions? All right, I'm going to turn the class over to Precinct Officer Mataziala.
All right. Isupk kid security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is the commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew, Ma'ashara. That's 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest funds, free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. It's whatever amount you'd like to donate. Don't have it, but the upcoming holy convocations will be the Feast of Purim, which give me 1
The
second.
Feast of Purim
It's
would
gonna
actually be Monday, March the 6th.
Monday, March.
Salakia, Sunday, the 5th of March
Sunday, March 5th.
and 6th.
Sunday, March 5th will be the Feast of Purim. That's the next high holy day. All right. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. With that being said, men of Israel, Amijah, Shabbat, Amijah, Barak, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Barak, Yazmatah, Sar. Going to turn to the sisters, give the sister courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amijah, Shabbat, Amijah, Barak,
Yahweh Shema, Atham Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Yazmatah, class dismissed.